Okie dokie, boys and girls. So, I just came back from a run and I noticed something. Your body is a fucking chain, and it's gonna be as strong as the weakest link. Now, how did I figure that out? Well, basically, in the last couple of days, I tried running with like barefoot shoes, which is like, it's a shoe that basically doesn't have any padding on the sole, right? So, you have to run on your tippy toes as not to hurt your heels. And I noticed that my calves were just flaring up and my shins, the muscles were just burning. And that's a weak spot in my body, And today I went for a normal run with normal shoes and it was fucking painful just because my body is not used to like all of that pressure on my calves. So my calves are the weakest link. And that made me think like at first I was pissed off, of course, like what the fuck, how am I not able to run or barely able to run, right? I was pissed off, but the more I thought about it, the more positive I kind of started to become because yes, there is a weak link in my chain that is called my body, but also by finding that link, I was able, to spot it. Now I can make it stronger. Now I know where I have room for growth. So if I can, make these calves stronger so that they can run with barefoot shoes and still perform, right? Then I will have patched up that weak spot and my body will have gotten stronger. And that's not only for running, but it's everywhere in your body and with every exercise you do. The limiting factor is going to be the body part that's the weakest. So if you're in front lever, right, and you can do some pull-ups, but your hold is struggling to, to become longer, you're not able to, add more seconds to your longest front lever hold, just like that. Well, that means that probably it's not going to be your rear delt. It's more going to be your lats or maybe your retraction in the front lever that's going to be weak. So for me, I guess that's the case as well, right? Like I failed to add some seconds to my PR for front lever last time or a couple days, maybe already a week ago, right? Yeah, I guess more than a week ago. I failed to do so, but, that's just a matter, from here to improve upon that PR. It's just a matter of finding the weak spots and patching them up. And most of all, attempting my PRs often so that I can see where I fail. So today what I'm going to do is a normal front lever training. I already did my planche and front lever holds to start the day, but now the actual training begins. So let's see, you are able to see this. All right, I'm just gonna check how a pull-up feels because it's been a while since I've done one. Like almost 2 weeks even, I guess. So let's see. All right, feels a bit tired. So just like with any training, like I did with the pistol squats, like I did with planche, first training back in a while, I'm just gonna take things, kind of in a moderate intensity. I don't want to overstrain myself at once. So I am gonna do some pull-ups with weight on my hips, but I'm gonna keep the amount of reps limited. And instead what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do some supersets with some scapula pull-ups. So I'll first do a normal pull-up, normal stuff. It's gonna hit my rear delts, my mid back, whatever. But also in order to get more strength in the retraction, because I feel like it's a bit too weak for me at the moment, I'm gonna do a superset with some straight arm pull-ups or just scapula pull-ups, right? You've probably heard them when you do a normal pull-up. People tell you to do scapula pull-ups like this, right? You can do the same in front lever or in tuck front lever, whatever progression you're at, to strengthen your scapula specifically for the front lever. And that's what I'm gonna do today. So 5 sets, I don't know how many reps, but I'm gonna keep it light. Let's go. Whew. That feels good. Good to be doing for the first time in a while, but also good on the scapula. Heavy though. Alright. That was with 2 extra kilos on my feet. Now I'm just I think I'm gonna do some supersets with pull-ups and presses, and then move down to a tuck front lever where I will do the scapula pull-ups. But all in all, these are very nice sets, very heavy. Hopefully it will make me recover good or recover well, and make the front lever feel light when I try it again without any weight. Whew. I'm gonna take off the ankle weights and do one last set, the same style as this. Okay, so that's it for the pull-ups. Felt heavy, of course, after such a long time of not doing the front lever pull-up, but I mean, it's not gonna get better from here if I don't restart the train, you know? I am not able to wait until I get back to the peak of my front lever, because waiting isn't gonna make it happen. I get back to the peak of my front lever training, my front lever pull-ups, by doing front lever pull-ups. And I feel like it went okay today, so nothing to complain. Now I'm gonna head into some, I think one last set of front lever, and I'm gonna do kind of the same style as I did on those last few sets of front lever pull-ups. So I did front lever pull-ups, then I superset it with some front lever presses, then I superset it with something else, right? And I think I'm gonna kind of do the same supersetting style here, but more focused on the hold. So I might do some front lever holds and perhaps even a pull-up, but then like go into presses as well, maybe move down to tuck front lever, right? And the goal is here to aim for a set of 45 to 50 seconds in total. If that's gonna happen, I do not know. I might be grossly overestimating the power I have left, but in any case, that's gonna be the goal. So like kind of a longer set to aim for endurance, right? And yeah, like I mentioned, it's going to be kind of a superset style, but I'm going to mix in those scapula pull-ups as well, especially in the end, I believe, with just tuck front lever and trying to retract the scapula. Basically, the scapula pull-ups are going to help you have a better retraction. You don't have to retract all the way in front lever, because then you won't be able to activate your lats as much, but you retract until the middle, and basically that's where you have the most power. And to get to the middle, well, of course, it's going to be beneficial if you have a strong scapula, a strong mid-back, right, to get you in that position in the first place. So I'm going to rest up a little bit more, and then probably the next set will be the last. But boy, it will, I think it will pump me up completely. So let's go. All right. Okay, stimulate, not annihilate. That was today's mission. The pump is insane though. So one of the mistakes I made on my last training block, also just noticed that Mudkip was miring the hell out of my back pump. The mistake that I made on my last training block was that I was annihilating my back and, well, my entire body instead of stimulating it. So I was progressing in planche presses, I was progressing in front lever pull-ups, whatever, pistol squats, but I was progressing so much to the point that I was not able to handle it properly anymore, and I was unable to recover. So, just the tiredness kept piling up, and before I noticed it, I was crashed down completely. And, when you're crashed down, obviously, you're not in a shape to attempt PRs, as you may or may not have seen on some of the previous videos. But, I failed quite a lot of PR attempts. I think the only one that was successful was a PR of the pistol squat, where I did 8 past reps with 40 kilos, which is very good, but the planche and the front lever, those were just straight up failures. So, from going forward here, what I'm gonna try and do is to stimulate my muscles instead of annihilate them. Don't go as overboard so that I can, during the training, stimulate my body, give a quick pulse, a quick reason for my body to recover and become stronger. And then once I am going into my PR attempt, that's when I can annihilate my body, That's when I can go all out, balls to the wall, and give everything I have. But, it's kind of difficult because for me, I like to train hard, I like to do hard sets, I like to go to my maximum. But, going to your maximum is very difficult on your recovery system, right? Like, when you have to look at it in this way. When you go and you up your intensity of your training, it's like this. It's not a straight line of how much recovery time it will take. It's like an infinite increase in how much recovery you need. So you don't need a lot of recovery for 50% effort, but you need a lot of recovery for 80% and even more for 90 and 100%, right? And basically, the reason that you want to train at a low intensity for most of your training is because that allows you to recover more quickly and do more volume, which is necessary in calisthenics. And for me, that's a very difficult part because I just tend to go a little bit overboard every time. But I'm gonna try to keep things moderate for a large part of my training. Of course, I will go harder on some sets, but I got a good groove on this a couple months ago, where I was just doing one set to the max every couple days, right? Or like every training, I was maybe doing one set to the max or every 2 trainings. And so the other volume was all under the maximum intensity, and I was able to recover from that. And in that period, I got good progress for, a stable, for a long period of time. So I'm gonna try and keep doing that. And aim for some new heights before I head to Japan, basically, So today's training, very happy with it, I feel like I was able to do that, stimulate the muscle instead of annihilate. I feel like I was able to target some weaker spots, aka the retraction in the front lever. I was able to get some good activation on my lats, and basically now it's time to recover. I'm gonna do or keep doing the sub-maximal holds in between, right? In between trainings to basically get the volume up a little bit more. But like I mentioned, the intensity is very low, so it's easy to recover from. And then, hopefully, 20 seconds will fall before Japan on the planche and 45 seconds on the front lever. Tomorrow is a leg day. Very excited for that one. My legs, it's a bit of a weird situation. They're dying when I'm running. Like my calves and my quadriceps are cramping into oblivion. But once I get into leg days, my legs feel fine. So I don't know what's going on there, but at least I'll take the fact that I'm able to do leg day, which excites me for tomorrow, Couple sets on the pistol squats in the Nordic roll. Never, they never fail to amuse me, I always get excited for those. So I'll see you tomorrow. Now I'm just gonna have a shower and some breakfast. So bye bye. Woo.